Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to our Coaching Cafe. We're ready to kick off a big year for 2022. It's wonderful to see so many people coming on the line again. I've been looking forward to kicking off our Friday sessions together. So it's Natalie Ashdown here with you from Open Door Coaching, and welcome to the line wherever you are listening to this live around Australia, or there's some international people as well, or maybe you are podcasting this and enjoying a bit of exercise whilst we actually deliver the seminar to you. So welcome, however you're listening and joining in our webinar today. So we're talking about trends in coaching. Before I begin, let me acknowledge the traditional owners and the custodians on the lands on which we're all meeting today, or you might be listening to this podcast, and their continuing connection to the land and the waters and our communities of Australia. We pay our respects to them and to their elders past, present and emerging, and anyone who might be on the line from an Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander descent, or from the Indigenous communities within your country. So as you know, excited to be back here. We're going to be talking about trends in coaching today. If you are new to the Coaching Cafe, we are all about creating a community, creating shared learning experience and thought-provoking conversations. So welcome if you are new to the Coaching Cafe. And of course, a super big welcome back to everyone who is joining us again after last year's series. It's great to see you all coming back. As you know, the Coaching Cafe is all about sharing our learned experience. So it's not just me talking to you and sharing ideas. I'm very keen to hear what your thoughts are. So please feel free to hit that chat box and interact with me and the other people on the line. I'll be able to pick up your comments as we go along. So 100% really keen to hear from you and keen to hear your thoughts. There's lots of wonderful experience on the line across the Open Door Coaching alumni. If you are here because you also want to collect those ICF continuing coach education units, of course, we have them available to you free of charge. I will put up the slide at the end of the session and you are welcome to take a screenshot. So here we go. Let's talk about trends. Now, the big thing I want to share with you first up is a big change that's coming through the International Coach Federation. So the first thing I want to share with you is around the increased professionalisation that's actually happening and being driven by the ICF. And you can see here that I've got the statement that the ICF have just, the International Coach Federation have just released. They're introducing a new way of accrediting programs, but what they're moving to is they're accrediting an entire organization. So rather than just accrediting specific curriculum or a program, they are accrediting an entire organization and it's leading global practice to do that. So they're sending out a strong message, as it says here, around the credibility and congruence around organizations. Just move that out of the way so I can see it a bit better. It sends a strong message of credibility and congruence for organizations and the profession, and it enables us to live a gold standard that we're all very proud of. Now, what does this mean? Well, in the marketplace, in the Australian marketplace in particular, it can be a bit kind of confusing to work out, if I do this program, does it lead me to get an ACC credential or a PCC credential or even my NCC credential? What they are doing, the ICF, is they're actually going to remove the concept of ACTP, so accredited coach training program, and accredited coach specific training hours. So you know that Open Door has our diploma and our Cert 4 give you both the leading to the ACTP and the ACTSH. I can never get that acronym right. And so what's going to happen is that concept will be gone. They're not going to accredit the actual program, they're going to accredit the organization. Now, the good news for us and for the alumni is that we are already in the process of transitioning to become a level 2 organization. And that means that the coach training you're doing now, any coach training you're planning with us, will be accredited. It does lead to ACC and PCC credentials. So it's for you all listening on the line. What does that mean to my credential? It means your credential is still recognised by the International Coach Federation at ACC, PCC or MCC level. It means that nothing really changes for you from a doing your coach training point of view. But what it means is that Open Door is now accredited. The entire organisation is accredited. It's very good for our marketplace. You know that we're a registered training organisation, so we have standards and compliance and all sorts of things that we need to actually meet. What the ICF are doing is they're making sure that organisations who run programs meet certain standards. So certain standards that you know that we are already all doing, other organisations are going to have to meet those standards. So it's quite exciting from a profession point of view. If you want to run coach training, you don't just get a program, get it accredited and start delivering it. You have to have a whole series of structures and standards and processes that enable you to deliver internationally recognised and globally recognised global coach training that meets a global standard. So from your perspective, nothing really to worry about, nothing really to think about really, apart from the fact that you can be assured that Open Door is moving to level 2 quite quickly. The reason for that is because we just went through our renewal back on, the 31st of December 2021. So we've got a big process to go through now to upload all of our documents to show them our level of professionalism from an organisational point of view. As I said, I think it's a big trend because you will know that the professionalism within our industry has been growing significantly over the past, 10 years in particular. So ensuring the professionalism of the organisations that deliver the coach training is the next big step, which of course we're all very excited about. So as I mentioned, feel free to pop a message into the chat box if you've got a question or if you've got comments around that. More than happy to pick it up and welcome everyone's writing, both where you're from, but also the lands on which we're meeting, which is wonderful. Thank you so much. You may also be aware that the ICF core competencies have been updated, so that's an important development as well. For those of you that are interested, our programs, Open Door Coaching's programs, already have the ICF core competencies built in. When we went through our reaccreditation process for the diploma and the cert for, was 2020, I think, the beginning of 2020, that's when the new ICF core competencies were announced and we built them into our program. So again, nothing to worry about from your perspective, but something to be excited about in terms of the increasing interest in professionalism in the industry and also the changes to the core competency. So if you're keen on understanding the changes to the core competency, hit our blogs and I think you'll be really pleased. For those of you that are internal coaches, for those of you that are introducing coaching into your workplace, and there's a lot of champions on the line, shout out to you all. You will be pleased to hear that the core competencies now include stakeholder engagement. They include things that we would relate to from a workplace coaching point of view. So things like part of our establishing the coaching agreement is establishing the coaching agreement not only with the stakeholder, but also with the individual. So not only with the individuals that are doing the coaching, but also with the stakeholders as well. So that's really good. It means that our international standards, our core competencies, are actually reflective of our practice, which is organisational and workplace practice. So it's good to hear there. What are the differences between the levels? Yeah, thank you and welcome back, Diana from overseas. I know it's been a while trying to get you back. So welcome back. I hope you are enjoying the Melbourne weather at the moment. So the main differences between the levels, a level 1 organisation, thank you for asking the question. A level 1 organisation is an organisation that's allowed to deliver up to 60 hours of coach-specific training. So what it's saying is that organization has a level of training that it's allowed to deliver up to 60 hours. So a level 1 organization is an organization that would allow you to get to ACC level of the International Coach Federation standards. A level 2 organization is an organization that is accredited to deliver up to 125 hours. So the old ACTP. So the organisation is allowed to deliver up to 125 hours within its program at the level 2. So like, you will all be looking for at least a level 2 organisation if you're thinking about your coach training, but I can see most of you on the line are alumni. So it means that our diploma programs remain accredited. It means that the organisation is acknowledged as having a program that allows 125 hours of coach specific training. So we'll be known as a level 2 organization. The level 3 organization, it's new, and it's for coach training organizations that have at least 75 hours of coach specific training at the MCC level. Now that's a big development as well, because previously, to achieve MCC level, you needed 125 hours of coach specific training, which we can provide to you. And now I'm watching that. Actually, I'm interested to see whether they're going to change it to say, if you want MCC, you have to have done this extension program. Much smaller percentage of our population are looking for MCC. Of course, you may remember you need to have 2,500 coach specific hours up your sleeve in order to do that. So what we will be transitioning to is to a level 2 organization, which basically means if you come and do coach training with us, you're going to receive the required coach training hours, depending on which program you choose, to advance to PCC level. Let me know if that helps. The main changes, like, not only just, there's changes in the title. I think the main thing that we're interested in is the increased structures, organizational structure. So for example, you would be used to seeing from us, you know, our terms and conditions, our complaints and appeals policy, our all of the stuff that we have from a registered training organisation that sits behind your training, that makes you feel confident, refund policies, all those kind of things, guarantees around the money you pay us and things like that. So all of that was not required previously. You could be a coach train, you could deliver a coach training product and say that you've got International Coach Federation accreditation without even having a refunds policy or a complaints policy or a bank guarantee in place or something like that. So it's really bringing the professionalism to the organisations that are allowed to deliver coach training. So we're quite excited. Yeah, Lisa, that's a really good way of describing it. Good governance. They're introducing the governance piece. That's a really nice way of explaining it. They're introducing that governance piece. That means, and you'd expect, as you say, that governance from a professional organisation. Yeah. So the reason I'm bringing this up as a trend is because you're going to start to see some things coming out from the ICF if you haven't already. You're going to see some things coming out from us as well. But the trend is around the increased professionalism, which for all of us on the line is an exciting thing. Gone are the days of, you know, back when we all started, where you could basically say, oh, I'm a coach. You know, we need to be credentialed and qualified now. You need to, you know, bring your years of experience, plus your credentials, plus your qualifications, and you'll be able to also say, we are also being coach trained by an organisation that has that level of governance and professionalisation as well. So there you go. Any other questions before we, yeah, thanks, Lisa. So, you know, people like yourself who have been around for years, like me, it's exciting, and it is great recognition. I see it as great recognition for your qualifications, for the work that you're doing. Yes, of course, it's going to be good for Open Door, but that's what's good for us is good for you guys as well, you people as well. So, yeah. Alrighty, there you go. So you will be able to see some webinars that we've done last year if you want to start catching up on some of the coaching cafes from last year. But rest assured, we'll be doing a lot of work in our coaching cafes this year to make sure that we're, looking at the new core competencies. We'll be bringing you some of the ideas around the new core competencies and how that influences our coaching training. So they're last year's webinars. They're on the screen. Taking our coaching conversations to the next level, how to avoid ineffective questions. And of course, some of you might have watched that hilarious video where we tried to do bad coaching. So you can pick up those. We will be bringing you lots of new core competency-based training this year as well. So the other trend, and feel free to pop a message, tell me what you're thinking about this as well. The other trend that was very clear last year, and there's no doubt about with the executive coaching that I've done already this year, their big sense of change. So if you're on the east coast of Australia, you know that there's different mandates and changes in New South Wales and in Victoria. With the introduction of coming back into the physical workplace to work. For some of you, like over on the West Coast, you haven't really noticed much apart from having to wear your masks, when you go to the supermarket. So there's lots of change going on out there in the external world. And that is having a significant impact on the change that's going on within organizations. So big conversations about how do we bring people back to the physical workplace? What does a hybrid working place look like? We were looking at it in 2020. We were looking at it in 2021, weren't we? When various states went into lockdowns, various countries went into lockdowns. Now there's a sense, well, we've got a lot of the population vaccinated. A lot of us might be on our first or second or even third vaccinations. Some of us are still choosing not to be vaccinated. There's a lot of discussion going on. We might have overcome the Omicron wave on the East Coast. So what does that now mean to returning to the workplace? What does it now mean to how we bring through the changes that we've been bringing through as well? Diane, I agree with you there. She says, I think we'll see an increased level of career coaching this year coming out of the pandemic experience. And I agree with you. We already have had 2 proposals signed off this year, all around career coaching. So enabling people now to think about the next 2 years, 3 years, next 5 years, what energizes them? How do we bring out the best in our people? It was kind of a bunkering down and holding on, perhaps not for everyone, by the way. So, there's organizations we're working with where they've had enormous growth, they've had enormous exciting things happen throughout the last couple of years, and they want to build on that growth. So there's changes that are going to happen that's going to build on the growth and the learning and development of people. So not everyone's like, oh, okay, let's get out of the fog and let's start, doing work. We've all been working extremely hard, and a lot of people have had a really positive experience as well. I think there will be that forming, storming, and norming coming through when we return to the physical space. There's people already saying that the physical workspace is overwhelming because I've been used to working from home. There's others that are like, can't wait to get back. Others who are refusing to come back because they don't want to wear masks in the workplace. A lot of stuff going on there. I really believe as leaders, we need to ask for help. And there's something about a calm approach to leadership, which is really nice. So yes, we'll manage the changes as we see them. What we did the last 2 years, that calm approach to moving through the changes, working out what's happening, seeing how we can assist people, demonstrating leadership through our coaching, all of that coming through as well. Lisa, you're getting some good agrees there too. I think we'll need to see an increased combining in the holistic wellness and finding our purpose in our careers. Yes, that's right. So there is discussion about the Great Resignation. There's lots of discussion going on around careers, and I've had to put up with the last 2 years, but now looking forward, what does that mean in terms of my wellness? What does that mean from a holistic point of view and my family potentially? and how do we find our purpose again, rather than having to do whatever we were doing. So, like I said, not everyone has experienced this, but we're seeing a big theme there. So. Thanks, Diana. I'm loving your perspective as well. Thank you for sharing. Lots and lots of change and turmoil in the workplace in Europe. You're suggesting opening up a wider marketplace for online coaching. Yeah, so I think that's one of the excellent things that has come out of the last 2 years in particular, that's going to enable us to help lead change, of course, is that people are much more comfortable with this platform that we're working on, and much more comfortable with the coaching that happens over. So most of us were already doing coaching over Zoom or telephone coaching before the pandemic hit. Now it's much more acceptable and comfortable, and it's what we do, that coaching over Zoom, catching up with team members, catching up with people within the workplace, doing our coaching over Zoom or other platforms. So I agree with you. I think there's that trend around how do we do coaching? How do we do coaching through change over platforms? Will continue for sure. Yeah. Lisa has suggested now we've got the opportunity to deliberately craft our way of working. Don't you love that? Yeah, craft our way of working rather than just the usual clock on and clock off. Yeah, so and you know, you might have seen some of the commentary in the media around, there's actually a school in New South Wales that is trialing different trialing different school hours. There's a bit of a push that school hours don't match work hours, and we need to be more flexible around our work hours as well. Of course, working the way we have over the last couple of years has just shone a spotlight on all the other things that's possible, hasn't it really? I remember coaching back in 2019 and coaching senior people to try to take a day off, not take a day off. I was coaching senior people to try to take, I'm going to do 1 day working from home. So the whole goal was, how do I structure myself so I can do 1 day from working from home, so I can smash out the work I need to do, because when I'm in the workplace, there's lots going on, etc., etc. And I kind of said, be careful what you wish for, because then, of course, many of us, not all of us, but many of us then went from full-time working from home. So yeah, it's interesting how it's all we longed for back then, remember 2019? And now we're looking at, well, how do we actually build that hybrid workplace? And so, yes, all the buzz terms, we need to be across them from a coach's point of view, because we will be coaching people to try to make those decisions, to try to work out what that hybrid workplace looks like. I 100% agree with you. Yeah. Tom, thank you for jumping in here. Do you have any insights on the growing trend of bot-based coaching? Yeah, I've seen some research that suggests it's very effective as an augmentation to personal coaching. And Diana agrees with you. Lots of innovation and approach and in the content. Yeah, it's something we are keeping an eye on, the whole bot-based coaching. I don't know a lot about it that I can share at the moment. I have started reading a lot of papers on it, Tom. I've even tried a bit of it as well. So it's very interesting, and we'll be definitely keeping an eye on that development as well. I think they should use my voice as the voiceover for the bots. What do you reckon? Yeah, lots of different innovation in the approach and how we're delivering content. I agree. Yeah. Welcome to your bot-based coaching. Yeah. Yeah. So technology is very interesting, isn't it? And there is a lot going on in the tech space around coaching and how we deliver coaching services. So we definitely want to be watching that. You know, I can see who's on the line. We're a bit old school, aren't we? You know, coaching is a one-on-one relationship. We build relationships, you know, face to face. We build relationships like we're doing now. You know, I think we're a bit old school about that. We do definitely need to be keeping up with what's happening from a technology point of view. And there's lots of great things that are happening that we can leverage as well to build the effectiveness of our coaching. Yeah. So lots of things that we'll be delivering this year. We've got some great keynote speakers. If you want to catch up on what we did last year, there's some of the things. We will be doing International Coach Week this year. We had a wonderful program last year around leading change. Feel free to pick up some of those webinars, and of course, watch out for our new keynote speakers and new opportunities as well. I really want to focus this year on people across our alumni who have written books. Goodness me, there is a lot of people across our alumni that have written great books. Some of them I've been sent copies of. I've had some great summer reading, and they're really wonderful, high quality books that people have written. I want to showcase some of the very clever and very productive alumni that we have. So we'll be able to watch out for that as well. Oh, great. Lisa's just popped a link in there. Go to thecoachfederation.org. They've got a blog on AI and the world of coaching. So artificial intelligence and the world of coaching. Excellent. Pick up those blogs so we can keep in touch. Thank you. Brilliant. Okay, focus on communication. That will be no surprise to anyone that's on the line. I love this quote from Albert Einstein. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. So very, do we believe Albert Einstein? I think we do, but we also need to take a look at what technology is doing and how it can actually enable the work that we're doing. That focus on communication, it will be no surprise to any of you on the line. Re-establishing the human connection, re-establishing levels of conversation rather than not having 10 minutes to do anything. I'm interested to think what you think. There's going to be a shift in mindsets around performance conversations, I think. What I'm seeing in the coaching is that some people have maybe put off performance conversations. They've put off the performance development plans because people have just been so full on trying to get through, with mental health and all sorts of things going on. So I think I'm feeling a theme, and you can tell me if you think it's true, that maybe some of the things that we would have normally brought up in feedback around performance conversations or highlighting people's performance hasn't been done. There's also a bit of, well, I can't see them. They were working from home. So did I have those performance metrics in place? And if I didn't, how do I know that people are performing? And also we have this wonderful opportunity to acknowledge high performance as well. In fact, of course, we need to be doing that all the time. But this trend around getting things right around performance conversations, I think is going to be the thing that we need to refocus on. And our coaching is definitely going to be helping here for sure. Lisa said you agree. There have been some kind of yes, I agree, out of sight, out of mind experiences, which is great for some managers, but it's not going to be great for performance conversations. So we need to look at what we're helping and how we're helping people around our coaching in that regards. Finding that balance still, I'm not sure what you've experienced, but in the early coaching that I've done this year already, people have gone away on summer break. I've come back refreshed and energized and, happy and excited. Others have come back tired still. I worry when people come back from summer breaks or semester breaks or holiday leave and they've come back and they're still tired. So fatigue, I think, is a real thing. And I think we need to be, coaching around that. We need to be aware of it. And that is going to impact communication as well. Yeah. How are we going for time? So things that lots of different webinars will be bringing you this year. The other one is definitely continuous focus on mental health. Glenn Close says mental health needs more sunlight, candle, more unnamed conversations. So how do we start conversations about mental health with our colleagues? How do we recognise the signs of anxiety and depression? Post-COVID stress and trauma. I think this is a real thing. It's coming out of everything that we're reading. And we have a role as coaches to be aware of this, and we will be able to, it's likely that we will be able to spot the signs during coaching conversations and then perhaps take off our coaching hat, put on our mental health first aid hat, and maybe have a conversation with a person. people might have been doing really well, and then it's the theme is that some of this COVID stress and trauma is going to start catching up with people, in the next 6 months. So we want to be looking out for that as coaches, putting our mental health first aid hat on, and particularly looking out for our youth. So for those of you that are working with young people, who have young people around you, either in your houses or however you might interact with the young people, we need to be looking out for them. As in Victoria, New South Wales, in Victoria in particular, where kids have been homeschooling for a long time, their return to school it's got an increase in anxiety around it. So, things to watch out for there as well. And of course, we want to be continually focusing on our professional development. So as my favorite Dr. Seuss says, the more you read, the more things you'll know, the more you learn, the more places you'll go. And of course, it's no surprise you're all back for the Coaching Cafe series. We'll be keeping up the momentum and the motivation, investing in ourselves in this way. And of course, I'm sure that most of you on the line have already got a plan or are thinking about what you might do in terms of your professional development. So it's great that we're able to continue that focus from a coaching point of view, but look after ourselves from a self-improvement and continuous development point of view as well. So we're right on time. Feel free to jump in with any other comments or questions you have. If you're interested in sharing information, we do have Leader as Coach coming out. We've just announced it. It's got a new format. So we were previously doing it as a 2-day program. We've gotten all feedback that it would be better in smaller chunks. So we've got videos going, which are kind of cool, and it's a shorter truncated program. So excellent if you want to introduce your people around you, your managers, senior managers, leaders into Leader as a Coach. Of course, we've got the Cert 4. And watch out also for mental health first aid. I have done a youth mental health first aid program. It's a passion of mine to be able to look after our youth and our young people. And I think there's a lot that we can do around that, and a lot of coaching we can do around that as well. So there you have it. So a fast and furious introduction to what we think will be the major trends in 2022. Really appreciate you dropping in your messages into the chat box there to tell us what you're thinking as well. Of course, hit us up on the socials. Want to share any other trends that you're seeing. We're very keen to share as we go along. Great to see you all. Thank you all. Enjoy your coaching. And if you are waiting for your CCU, just hold on the line for one more second and I'll pop it up for you. Thanks, everyone. Wonderful to have you all back. We'll see you at our next cafe.